Hi guys, welcome. This is chapter 5 of Scattered Servants. This is repositioning the church to reach the lost chapter. I'm Dave.
Hi, I'm Gavin. Yeah, we have enjoyed reading the book so far, and we're here to talk about chapter 5. Really, this chapter is all about the story of how the story of how Causeway Coast Vineyard began to move and reposition the church to reach the lost. And what we find in the book or in the chapter is that Alan starts off by talking about how the church were very intentional about adjusting their Sunday services to make them really welcoming for guests. He talks about how they adapted what they did. There was a real focus on welcome, how they adjusted things in terms of the worship, announcement, sermon, and ministry. He uses a really great analogy about having guests round to your house for dinner, and the fact that you just wouldn't you would make a bit of a special effort for them so that they would feel comfortable.
I mean, I think the second part, the insiders out, is where rubber really hits the road. It's the difficult part. One of my observations was reading it. I am thoroughly inspired. And I'm not diminishing the quality of the book in any way, but it's not anything new. But it is intensely difficult, and it's incredibly difficult. And the inside is out is the hard part, because it's the mobilization of the church. It's Matthew 28:19. It's go and make disciples. It's, and he has a little diagram within the chapter of a kind of goalpost, a football goal, and they've got the Acts verse on one side, and they've got the Matthew verse on the other side, and the goal is that space between the two.
There was something about this chapter that really helped me understand the title of the book, Scattered Servants. On the servant side, it's those who are servants, who know that they are servants of God, who, as the chapters before, have built upon that, and they're sure of their identity. They know that they're sure of their identity. They know the authority they have. They know that God trusts them, and who are being bold. When the title of the book talks about the scattered servants, that's a really sort of, it's an unleashing thing. It's a slight bit of a mess. You don't know exactly where things are going to break out, and I think that's just really powerful.
They're so focused on reaching the lost. They listen and obey, rather than listen and worry that they missed it later, which is often my experience, and many others as well, and I'm sure many others within Causeway Coast. I don't think it's a church full of superheroes. It isn't a church full of superheroes, but they're moving. There's an encouragement, there's a culture that means that it is normal to step out and see what God's got to do that day.
And I think that is, and that's something that we as a church have, I think, been attempting to do more and more regularly as we can, is to celebrate acts of courage, celebrate people being courageous and just in the day-to-day and in the ordinary. We had the example of the great Jonathan and Jenny giving us our challenge cards in terms of being generous. As an example of how this is something we want to do.
The spark of the church stepping forward where they are is our rationale, but kind of tweaking what hubs look like and what hubs are aiming for. It's about being on a mission in our area and equipping everybody to be, it's the royal priesthood thing, 1 Peter. We are carriers of Christ, and in our area we can bring that change, the words of life. What words of life has God got for that area, and how do we as a community within communities, or communities within a community in our locality, choose to engage and really push into what does God say for the West End or for Coldside or for
Yeah.
the northeast of Dundee as we go, and imagine the kind of difference that God can utilize us to bring. There's a massive challenge of authenticity within that, particularly as leaders, to kind of eyeball what we're doing and say, what is it doing to reach the lost, to lead us towards lost people or lost people towards Christ? Yeah, so the chapter really speaks about the priority for both outsiders coming in and insiders going out, and that obviously creates this scattered servants, tagline, book title, mantra, whatever you want to call it. And they have the saying everyone, everywhere, every day, and that forms the basis for the next couple of chapters as well. So we're well into the rhythm of the book. Each chapter is ending, but the thread of kind of commentary that Alan's bringing is not, and it's building and building. So we're really excited to hear the next chapter and the next chapter after that. Again, we've read ahead, the stories are wild, but fundamental to it is a God who loves and cares for us. So we're really excited to see more about how Causeway Coast and Alan have led through those times. So look out for them in the next few days. There's a grin on my face. I think people will spot when you start talking about when people are coming around, you tidy the house. And 10 minutes before that, you can sock off that radiator behind you.
The church, attractional, and just one of those.